Does anyone know if shining an iPhone light in my eyes or like near the vicinity of my eyes is actually bad for me? Because like I have my phone and I want to use it as a light so you can actually see my face better, but it's like it like hurts my eyes. Anyway, this video is going to talk about the main principle of adding to your life. So the majority of people nowadays view self-improvement and self-becoming and growth as adding things to your life. You know, getting a better morning routine, getting the next book that's going to help you, watching the next podcast that has the one piece of information that you just happen to be missing that's going to piece everything together. And that's the mentality that I see so much. And instead of, I want to make a shift in perspective. Instead of, if you're holding up a dirty mirror, instead of adding more things to that dirty mirror, instead of adding more distractions, more things that are going to take your attention away from the mirror, if you want to see the clean mirror, you want to see what's behind the mirror, you need to strip away the things that are clouding it in order to see it more clearly. So, what this is going to look like is instead of scrolling on TikTok, watching to find the next best thing to help your life, instead of watching the next podcast or trying to see what best morning routine there is out there, instead of just adding those things onto your life, try to see what it is that is taking from your life, whether that be a bad connection that's draining your energy, whether that be a bad habit like scrolling on TikTok that is objectively taking your time, um, focus, and motivation away from what you actually need to be doing. So, all of these things that are distractions that are clouding who it is you want to become, who it is you want to be, and what it is you need to do to become that person, all of the distractions that are in front of you, you need to take them away. You need to remove things from your life that are stopping you from being able to become that person instead of just adding more on. You know, it's hard though. It's not as easy to say. Like we all know that we should be getting our exercise in, that we should be keeping our body healthy, that we should stop scrolling on TikTok. And it's easy to say that and think that, but it's uncomfortable to delete TikTok, to actually go on that morning run, and to actually treat your body and eat healthy things. It's not as easy as it sounds. But humans have been essentially curated to value comfort. We like things that allow us to relax. It makes us predictable. It makes us safe, feel safe. But that aided our ancestors from 2000 years ago. You know, what's helping us now is not valuing comfort because back then, if you could achieve comfort, that means that you're safe from predators. It means that you can get a good night's rest. But now, when our lives aren't being constantly compromised, when most of us, I assume you watching this video, is able to just live normally and not have anything compromise your survival, this search of comfort, this kind of just like receding into comfort instead of doing things that is going to advance your life is stopping us. It's not aiding us anymore. It's not giving us that feeling of comfort or that feeling of actually being safe. It's just stopping us. So instead of valuing comfort, instead of valuing, you know, all the things that you would like to be doing, I want to push you and I want to push myself too, because of course I'm guilty of all of these things. Find what it is that is actually worthy of wanting. Not something you want impulsively, not something you want in the moment, but find something that you truly deem worthy of wanting, whether that be a goal, a relationship, a job, something, anything. Find what it is you want, you deem worthy of wanting, and strip everything away that is actively stopping you from doing that thing. The greatest people in the world were not great because they found the perfect morning routine. They weren't great because they read the perfect book that gave them the one sole piece of information that they were missing. They were great because they stripped away what was stopping them from being great. And they molded that person out of the newfound time, newfound focus, newfound effort that came from eliminating the things that were creating that deficit. Like, we aren't going to become the people and individual and identity that we want to be by just adding things on. These distractions, these things that keep taking our attention. I'm sorry that I keep bringing this up. I bet you get this by now, but instead of adding, for 1 week, I'm going to ask you this. For 1 week, try taking away the things that are limiting you, that are limiting your time, focus, and energy. These 3 factors. Just step away. Doesn't have to be forever, just for 1 week. And with that newfound time, effort, and energy, time, focus, and energy, dedicate that towards what you deem worthy of wanting. Dedicate that towards who you want to become. And with that, if you actually take action, then you will find that it's not the next piece of information that you need. It's not the next best morning routine. Again, it's what was taking your time, taking your attention, taking your focus that was actually stopping you from being who you want to be. And of course, it's not that simple. But that's essentially the core of what I see happening today. There's an excess of knowledge, excess of opportunity. Too many options will kill anyone. Like, seriously, I took that quote from Matthew McConaughey. He has a whole thing about this. I recommend you go watch it. Too many options, too many routes that we could take is going to stop you, is going to paralyze you from taking any of those routes because they're all appealing. They all take your attention. They all feel right. So you're not going to engage in any singular one of them. You're going to wait until you find that perfect one, which I'll tell you right now is never coming. You're going to wait for years. You're going to wait for decades even before you find the perfect route. And then you're going to be on your deathbed, looking back at your life, realizing that there was no perfect route. There was no perfect time to start. There was only you now, right here, right now. And the action between you and where you want to be. It's not the perfect guide. It's not the perfect morning routine. It's the actual hours that you want to put in order to get there. So, because now you know that it's only the actions, time, and effort that you need to put in order to get where you want to be instead of the perfect morning routine, the thing that's stopping you is what's taking from you. Again, I want to challenge you for 1 week. Find something that is limiting your life. Find something that is taking from you and cut it out. And dedicate that newfound time towards what you want to do. For most of you, this will look like scrolling on TikTok. This will look like going on YouTube and aimlessly trying to find the next best video or best morning routine. If you cut that out, dedicate that time towards what you deem worthy of wanting, I essentially guarantee you, you will make more progress than if you would have been searching for the next best thing. All right. I hope you all have an amazing day. Again, my phone flashlight, whatever. Goodbye.